Hello dear Cancerians, and welcome to your April 2021 horoscope. Now April is a pretty good month. We've got quite a bit of fire energy as well, and this is the last month before we start the eclipses season and also before Mercury goes retrograde in May next month. So let's break this month down for you and see what it brings on a more personal level, and starting from planet Mercury. The planet that rules communication, mind, curiosity, is moving into Aries on the 3rd of the month, where it will remain until April the 20th. Right, so for you more specifically, this is the 10th house of career, professional life, public status. Now, Mercury in the 10th house, where also the Sun and Venus are present. The Sun and Venus moved into Aries at the end of March, and here we've got Mercury coming as well. So now Mercury here will give you this really great communication skills with your superiors, with your bosses, managers. It's a really good time for working on projects that require you to present something, because self-expression comes much easier during this time. Your communication skills are likely to be better as well. And it's also a great time for doing some studying as well, connected to your career, so maybe some professional development courses as well. With Venus present in the 10th house, your impression on others is still great. Very good, loving, charming impression that you make on others. The Sun here, so it's likely to be a busy time at your work during this time. Now, because Mars is now in your 12th house, sometimes you might feel like your energies are low, because with Mars transiting the 12th house, sometimes we just kind of need to recharge ourselves. So perhaps self-care actually is very essential here. Self-care, make sure you get enough sleep. I know it might not sound very exciting, but actually with Mars transiting the 12th house, there is really this tendency of feeling low in energy or maybe drained much quicker. So it's something to keep in mind, I think. And on the 11th of the month, we've got a new moon happening in Aries, and this is in your 10th house of career. So as you can see, there is a lot of activity, dear Cancerians, happening in your area of career in the first weeks of April. So really good time for dealing with anything connected to your professional life, especially since you've got lots of positive energies here, and also a new moon. So if you want to start a new business, this is the time to do that. If you want to progress in your career, it's also a great time for doing that. Improve your skills. You've got the right energies here. Mercury, the planet of mind, learning, teaching, also short courses, fantastic time. Venus brings positivity, balance, harmony. So really good time for using these energies for doing something really productive connected to your career. And a new moon is about new beginnings, a fresh start. So this new moon could bring some new beginnings in your existing career, or perhaps you could land yourself an interview for a new job, new career. You could change a career. So lots of new beginnings for Cancerians connected to their professional life. Or if you want to start a new business or new course of study, this is also a great time for doing that. Now, on the 14th of the month, we've got Venus moving into the 11th house. So this is Taurus, into Taurus. Now, 11th house is connected to friendships, group activities, also networking. So here from the 14th, at some point from the 14th, it's unlikely to be on the 14th, because it depends what house system you use. But generally from the second part of the month, you make a really great impression in group situations. So it's a really good time for teamwork, Now for networking, business networking, some might establish a new love relationship during this time. Venus, the planet of love and relationships, in the 11th house, maybe a new love partner that you meet through your friends or through some group that you belong to. And also we've got Mercury coming here on the 20th, and the Sun. So from the second part of the month, the attention turns into group activities, networking, friendships. Now, with Mercury here, this is a time when you might be dealing with lots of communication, conversations, brainstorming with people from your social circle. But also if you are involved in any group activities, or if you work within a team during this time at your work, for example, or something like this, then this is a really good time when you can very easily express yourself, present something to others. You make a loving and beautiful impression, and with Venus here, Venus brings you harmony, balance, positivity as well. Now Mercury is fantastic for exchanging your ideas, opinions, and you really enjoy doing that with Mercury in the 11th house. It's a really good time for conversations and for setting yourself some goals as well, or for doing business networking, expanding your business connections. And with the Sun coming here as well, there's likely to be lots of activity here, especially when the Sun comes, because wherever the Sun is, this is when where we are likely to experience lots of activity connected to that house. So when the Sun comes here, this is a time for teamwork, socializing as well. You could be socializing much more. You could really have time to do that as well, because maybe during the time that you had all the planets, personal planets in the 10th house of career, you were busy with your career. Now with the planets moving into your 11th house, you've got this greater desire for some fun and socializing as well. And it's a really great time for joining some groups to meet like-minded people. And on the 23rd of the month, we've got Mars moving into Cancer. Now, this could be a pretty challenging transit because Mars doesn't feel comfortable in Cancer. It's a completely opposite energy. Cancer is the nurturing, the mother of the zodiac, the sensitive, emotional sign. And Mars is the aggressive energy, but also the warrior. And it could be a pretty, something to be aware of is, I think, the tendency to maybe be too impatient, too impulsive here. Generally, this will be in the first house. So after the transit in your 12th house, when you felt like your vitality was low, your energies maybe were lower than usual, or you perhaps lacked motivation. Now, when Mars moves into your first house, this is a time when you really regain your strength. Your energy levels will go into the roof. And this is a really good time for initiating something new with the transit in the first house of Mars, because you've got the right energy. You are good at initiating things. You feel like really doing something, moving forward with your life, especially since many things could have been put on hold during the time when Mars transited in your 12th house. Now with Mars becoming visible, so to speak, when it comes into your first house, this is a time when you want to act, move forward, start something new. And you've got this strong motivation, courage, energy, and this dynamic approach for life. Right, so the month ends with a full moon in Scorpio happening in your 5th house of children, joy, fun, pleasure, and romance. Now, this full moon is connected to the new moon we had back in November 2020, a new moon in Scorpio. And if some of you started something during that time, now during this full moon in Scorpio, you could see some outcomes, some results of those new beginnings. However, otherwise, this is a time when you are likely feel like you want to have more joy, more fun in your life, more romance as well. So you could be doing some internal reevaluations of whether you have enough romance in your life, or whether there is enough entertainment as well. You could be busy with your children if you have children. Or generally, this could be a very creative time as well. So it's a good time for, if you feel inspired, if you feel like you've got lots of creative energy inside you, then it's a good time for releasing it and doing something artistic. And with this in mind, I would like to thank you very much for your attention. I wish you a happy and a good month, and I will see you in my next video. Bye for now.